we just built into fucking kill, basically. Fuck, kill and eat, you know. And, you know, we see ourselves as, we're used to ourselves, don't forget. We see this form, we've got arms and legs and hands, but we're these ugly, misshapen, like, kind of creatures. Imagine what we look like to dogs, you know, or to anything else. We're just these big, smelly, vicious animals with hair on the top and, you know, hair there and hair there. And we're learning, we're getting there. But for every time we try to reach towards a goal, we're like distracted. We're like, you know what, this is a good idea, man. I'm like into this. This is cool, yeah, peace and all that. What's that? It's like, oh, wow. If I get big muscles, I can impress girls. It'll make me big and strong. But let me take some steroids to make them grow bigger. And steroids make me more angry and vicious. And I want to fight everybody. And I want to be a savage man. And women as well. I'm not ever letting women escape on this one. But I have to go gentle because women are so sensitive. Did he just say that? Yes, I did. You know, men are sensitive too, but I have a go at them a lot. And the reason I have a go at men and not the women often is women have a hard time anyway. I don't think they're any better than men, to be honest. You know, we're animals. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, we're animals. I have had my relationship, sexual, you know, pleasure, a lot of with women. And I'm not saying like that's what I only use women, but what I mean is that's what my kind of animal, you know, focus is. And men treat women badly. So, I think I don't really want to add to it. Men go, oh, you know, you love sucking up to women, that's why women like you. I go, no, women like me because I'm just good, you know what I mean? And I don't say anything to win favour. It's coming, don't worry. But I do think, like, you don't hear me saying many negative things about black people. And it's not just because I'm black, liar, of course it is. It's because most black people have it really hard anyway, and I'm not going to fuel that fire, and women too, so I'm not going to sit there saying misogynist jokes, or even the ones that are just borderline, because to me borderline still counts. Oh well, it's just borderline. No, that's racism. It's not borderline, it is or it isn't. That's sexism. It's not borderline, there's no borderline, it is or it isn't. And I don't want to fuel that. But if I want to get into character as Mr. Tough love, then I'll do it, because to me that's just satire. And one of the things, and let me defend this, by the way, I'll be straight back. Yeah, I'm the OBG. I did a post recently. I'm not even going to go at the person who complained, because I also got another PM recently, a Mr. Tough Love thing, and to me it's just dark satire. But part of my brand of comedy was I don't want to do voices. I could learn voices. I could put makeups on, makeups. I could put a moustache on and be the character. But I thought, no, people find it hard to define whether I'm joking or whether I'm being serious a lot of the time. And I do this deliberately, not, you know, all the time. What I mean is sometimes it's part of what I do. Like today I posted a status about an old friend of mine dying, and a lot of people were like, oh, you know, they kind of thought, okay, that's a bit sad. If he was alive, what would you ask him, and so on. But then other people, I got some PMs, did a PM crew, and they're like, oh, I see what you did there. And it was like, yeah, actually, it was a joke. And I thought with Mr. Tough Love, what I'll do is I'll just be me as I deliver what he has to say, but I'll put the title on it. And I got, you know, a letter today. I'll talk, I won't mention the name, but I'll say it happened because they posted it on a public wall, which was like, oh, I think you gave bad advice to that woman about the abortion. Send it to me and I'll tell her what, and I'll help her. And then they just told me that I wasn't funny. And I said, look, it's a joke. It's adult, you know, like humour. I will say things about black people, about women, about, you know, I'm a little afraid to say anything that's... no, I'm not. Fuck it. I'll say something about gays and lesbians too. Do it in private. But, you know, there's no hate there. And to me, it has to have an angle. And I'm not trying to explain why I think I'm funny here. All I mean is that everyone's a target. If Charlie Brooker does it, it's okay. Because he's funny. People like him. So he can say things about black people and rappers and, you know, gay people and women. But I think most people find Charlie Brooker funny. For those who don't, it's not your brand of humour, just let it go. And it's the same with me. If you don't like what I've got to say, then let it go. And I think I will put a warning on the Mr. Tough Love as a respect to the person or the people who mentioned it. One of them thought it was really funny. In fact, 4 or 5 people thought it was funny. One person thought it was negative. And that's not bad for the amount of people who saw it. So what I will do, and I didn't want to do it because I don't want to compromise who I am by putting warnings on everything. But I will say, you know, like, if you're squeamish, fuck off, rather than put a parental guide warning on them. Right, okay, let's go back to that because people have. I want to go back to Amy because it's very interesting. If Amy's held on. Hello, Jenny. I've also intrigued about toddlers learning to lie. See, but once again, that's the animal instinct, I believe. That's toddlers wanting just to protect themselves. Wanting they're learning. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the id ego and the superego, it's about that reality testing, and they want to test their reality, so they gauging our reactions. I think it's that simple, to be honest. And when they do the lie, the big lie, like they've actually taken something or stolen, because there's no such thing as stealing. We live in this society. The feudal lands were taken off the land, put into factories, and our bosses, the capitalists who control us, just said stealing's bad, you do not take, so they can maximise their profits. And obviously, in communities we don't like stealing, but it's just a natural thing to do, very natural. All of us have to learn not to steal, and even then, the majority of us, and I think everyone in this room has stolen. Everyone here today has stolen something. Whether it was within your house, penny from your mum's purse. God, I'm old. A penny. Oh God, you can buy a bike with that, and or something in a shop. And it's like the reality testing thing. What's that stealing stuff all about? Can I get away with it? Why does this rule exist? But it feels so natural for me to want to take something. And I'm not talking about becoming a career thief or anything, but just flouting the law or just doing it anyway. Even if the law wasn't there, you'd be doing it. It's just, what's that? And it's like, well, it's not mine, but it's shiny. And you kind of want to put it in your pocket. And don't deny it. Everyone I challenge about theft, by the way, they're like, oh no, I've never stolen anything in my life. And then as soon as I go, because I've got 3 basic scenarios that I throw at them, and they're like, oh yeah, but that's different. And I'm like, how? It's theft. But if you're stealing from someone who's really rich or really poor, it's theft. That's the law. So for self-preservation, Amy says, also about the lying, yeah, that's what I said about the self, but what are you preserving? And okay, I think I explained that anyway with the feral mind and so on. So, and no synapses get built without error, said Rhiannon. And this is true. You have to, the synapses are formed apparently when the action keeps on repeating itself. So you have to keep on making those errors if you want that one to form. We've got other signs as well. It's not only about synapses. If you burn your hand in a fire the first time, you will only burn it maybe the second and third time after that, and you start learning very quickly, because the first time you realise, oh, it's actual fire itself. You're like, wow, that burns. And then hot pipes, you burn yourself on a hot pipe, and you think, right, okay, metal can be, hot too. And then you formulate after your next burn, like it's not about metal, but things that conduct. Like heat or hold heat in and so on, and all this before you know much about physics, and even the colour, that's glowing orange, while white hot, and that's like that language thing. I think there's an innate, inherent part of us that can formulate, like well, not everyone's a computer scientist here, so I won't go into that, but just like a tree branching off and associating things with other things and searching quickly for solutions to problems that present themselves. Trigger warnings. What was that about, Rhiannon? Trigger warnings? If you could go back to that. Preserving a sense of pride. Yeah, but where does pride come from? What are we proud about? Where we're proud about the things we're told to be proud about in the main. But pride, you have to have an ideal, you have to have something that you think it's worth to be proud of, and that's created by all of the surroundings. If you lived alone in the forest, you wouldn't wake up every day and go, I'm the fastest runner here. Oh, if we're going to run fast today, I caught a big fish today, that's good. I wonder if you have anything to relate them to. Not even if you lived alone, but with other people, if you shared in community. But then if we had a competition for the biggest fish, then you'd be talking about the fish you caught. If we had races, you'd be talking about how fast you run. That's maybe the negative side of it. But yeah, maybe you would have pride because you might climb a tree which maybe you couldn't have climbed before, but then you climb higher, or you climb a higher mountain, and that's achievement, though. That's a sense of achievement. I don't know. Let's talk about that. Achievement, pride, are they the same thing? I did want to S-nymphen once. I don't know what that word is there, sorry. Trigger S-nymphen. Feelings for people who are easily offended. Preserving a sense of pride. Trigger warnings. Got to trigger feelings for people who are easily offended. Yeah, okay, yeah. But those people, once again, they need healing, you know. We all do, and, you know, I'm part of that too. You know, you trigger feelings because, and I'm not saying those people are bad or weak or anything, you know, we're all different. Like, I get triggered by certain things, you know, get lesser and lesser as you get older, I will say. And I think some of the people, all of you agree, even the young people, because you don't get triggered easily now, even at like 25, by the things you did when you were 16. And, you know, it just gets better and better, and, you know, and like at 55 now, I'm like, I made it. It's like there's nothing going to trigger me, and it's like until something triggers me, and then I'm like, oh man, and I beat myself up just for a little second, because I know, you know, I haven't got rid of everything anyway, and I don't expect to until my last breath. And this is why, once again, I'm content. I don't kind of think, oh man, I've got to be perfect. I'm not going to go on a retreat, I'm not going to go on a course, I'm not going to try and find myself. I'm just going to try and do good, and all of that leads to me finding myself. And not only that, 25 quid a class for finding yourself from, you know, Tarquin and Tara down at the yoga centre. Imagine doing that, paying that 25 quid a week for the rest of your life, and not finding on your last breath that it was you all along that held the key to your happiness. And we spoke about this yesterday. Yesterday I spoke with Chris Paradox. It was a really good interview. The audio fucked up at the beginning, but I keep a copy here as I'm recording the show also. I stream to disc, and I've got a really good audio copy. I finished the video today, and I'll post it up on YouTube tomorrow. I may even post it up tonight, actually. Hello, Kit. Yeah, we all are the way we are because of experience, Rianne, and pride is related to ego, I guess. No. I choose, again, come back and look at the beginning of the show. I don't know how early you came in. Everyone keeps talking about this ego, and getting rid of the ego and ego. I don't know if you're talking about getting rid of ego here, but ego, we need our ego. That's the whole idea of this live show, which I recorded earlier, that ego controls the animal part of us. It keeps reins on it. It holds it in check, and it also communicates with the super ego, which is a part of us which is, you know, responsible for compassion and, you know, understanding and so on. And we don't have to get rid of our ego. We don't have to. The ego is not about, well, look at me and I'm feeling good. Our animal instincts probably do that. This is what I put forward. The id. Yeah, thanks a lot on the paradox thing. Yeah, I was happy with that. So, and by the way, Rianne, the way I express myself, I'm not contesting what you say. What happens is they trigger me, and not trigger me in a negative way. People think trigger means negative. That's another thing that I find a little annoying at times, you know. It's like, yeah, I was triggered by that. Or, you know, you may say something like, oh, I had a lovely ice cream today, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then it triggers me to remember the good ice cream I had, or a positive experience. But people think trigger always means negative. And what you do, because you write a lot and you're always doing a lot of input, you know, being part of the show, because after all it is a show about the people, by the people, for the people, I'm like, oh yeah. And then it reminds me of how I may talk about that subject. Typically I may have a negative view on it, but it's not negating what you said. And that's the view. I'm going to have to put the comments up on the show, actually, in future, which means I have to do the show from YouTube. Absolutely, instinct is, yeah. You know, instinct is. Instinct is really our animal self. And maybe with that animal self, as savage as it may seem to some, oh, it's about the animal and, you know, it's our savage side. It's just, you know, food, eating, sex and, you know, survival. Maybe we may be more in touch with ourselves and our surroundings when we're that animal, like animals are. And so instinct, when people say, oh, it was just a gut instinct or a feeling, I know there's an argument about the brain, stomach being a brain also, but when we're in touch with that animal side of us, maybe we are more aware. Maybe we're more, you know, like sensitive to smells and, you know, like sound and so on. In fact, we are, because I've experienced that. I'd go with that. I'd say yes for sure. So that instinct thing, you're not necessarily in your higher states where you're like, okay, this is who I am, this is what, and you're and working things out. You'll just go straight to the animal. And you're like, I don't like this. I don't trust him. I don't trust her. I don't like that. And get all those warnings. And it's at that point I tell people, whenever you get those feelings, just go with them. If you feel that you need to do something, do it. As long as you're not harming someone. And even if you're harming someone, it depends at what level. And we all need to get off sometimes on not being good. There, I said it. You know. And we've all done it. I'm going to accuse people. Well, stay with me. Hello, Paula. Hello, Tony. Stop that. In the interview, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Fight or flight. There you go. Rianne's just prompted me again. Rianne, I can't live without you. Yeah, it's that fight or flight thing. So, you know, it's on instinct. So sometimes we have a natural instinct to do something bad. And I say to people, go with it, because you've got your id and you know, wants to do the bad shit, and then you've got your ego wanting to put that in check and thinking, how can I do this bad thing? Because I've talked about all the positive, I'm just talking about the negative here, but not necessarily harm or affect anyone. And then you've got your super ego saying to you, like, you know what, man, you shouldn't really do this. You know, think about the kids. You know, think about people. Think about so on. So, like, you can enter a battle, but sometimes we act on the instinct as a primary action without allowing the others to come in, and maybe we end up doing something worse than we should have. So I think all three contribute in a sense, but we all are called to action to do something negative, and I think every single human being has acted on it at some point, even Mother Teresa. And the Pope, we know the Pope does anyway, he does it, his stuff's probably underage based as well. But, you know, maybe something simple, like, and we can't keep on making excuses. Oh, well, I was only young then. The fact is you did it. You're a 13-year-old girl, you've reached womanhood, you know, you're blossoming and so on. Not womanhood, young womanhood. And Sally walks in. Everyone likes Sally. Sally's really easygoing. She's got a new dress on. Everyone likes her new dress. And when you walk past her, it doesn't really suit you, or you say something really nasty. You know, that's the part of you wants to exercise that reality testing. You know, you want to see how savage you are, and then if you go past that animal stage, the ego might say to you, "Oh, you know, be tactful about this, because you know." No, let me go back to the beginning. It would go, that looks shit on you. You know, that's when you're being really nasty. And then the ego might say, well, be tactful. You may say, oh, well, it's nice actually, but, you know, look better in blue. Or, you know, I've got one like it. And then the super ego may not, and may say to you, like, you know, why don't you just congratulate her? Or even better, you know, just walk away, don't say anything. So what I'm saying is that we have these a desire to do bad. And I tell everyone to act on them, but not always. You know, sometimes live, because I don't trust people who tell me they've never done anything bad. You know, they're the people I fear the most. They're the people that hacksawing bodies down in the cellar after they've left you. Bye, lovely meeting you. Have a great day. Yeah, and cutting a torso off. But I dare you to talk about this. Yeah, I don't do this. So yeah, moving on.